Welcome back to My Way. Now, for a coffee farm perched on top of rolling green hills amongst an assortment of tropical fruits, you'd be forgiven for thinking you were in some far-off exotic destination. But Savage's Coffee is a mostly one-man operation run on one of Brookfield's last remaining farms, just 20 minutes outside of Brisbane's CBD.
You've got to have a passion, and it's really easy to come out here and just grow the same trees that my father grew. But I don't wake up in the morning thinking about avocados or custard apples. I wake up in the morning thinking about coffee. I'm Andrew, and I'm trying to grow the perfect cup of coffee. My day-to-day work, I'm an industrial chemist. Feels like I spend my week indoors in a laboratory, so then it's really nice to spend my weekends outside using my hands. Picking is really relaxing. It's almost meditative, where at the end of the day you've got this massive bucket of coffee that you can just look at and go, that's what I've done today. Where sometimes you spend a week at work and you go, I've got this amazing Excel sheet and no one's that interested in it. You've just got to work in every weather you get. If it rains or it shines, you've just got to get the work done. It's just part of farming. My family has been farming in Brookfield for 4 generations now, and I'm the 4th generation. It's not just about farming and getting as much fruit or as much of a crop off the land as possible. It's also about making sure that we look after the farm in the way that it can be farmed for the next generation. For a long time, I didn't have the passion for farming when I was younger, but it was something that I really grew into. It was one of those things where I went from being a teenager that didn't relate to either of my parents to an adult that I understand why my father is passionate about the farm and where you get that satisfaction from producing something as opposed to just being a consumer. Growing that passion has been a real part of not only developing the farm but also developing the relationship with my father.
Even with generational knowledge of farming know-how under his belt, to Andrew's dad Philip, the idea of growing coffee seemed a little bold.
I know what's been on the land, in various areas all of my life, so I know the history of patches and what might work and what won't work, and that's worked better than I ever thought it would.
When I put the first trees in, I really didn't know what I was doing. There was a whole lot of trial and error. You can't find a book that says how to grow coffee in Brisbane. It would have taken 3 years, I think, to get that first cup of coffee.
That first cup must have been one of the best, right?
Look, things weren't great then. I was still getting the system dialed. It was definitely better than instant coffee, but the amount of effort you put into that one cup of coffee, you really appreciate it. And then you really appreciate the amount of effort that goes into every cup of coffee since.
And if growing their own berries for a cup of coffee wasn't enough, this farming family takes single origin produce to the next level with this project.
Just down the hill, we've got a pine plantation that was planted just over 35 years ago. And from there, we grew an absolutely beautiful forest. But then we've also built a house from it.
Here's the stump of one of the many logs I took out of here to build my house. And look here, there's the next generation coming through. They're actually growing on top of the stump.
The good spot's definitely been taken by this house, but there's definitely plenty of pretty views out here. So I'd definitely like to build my own farmhouse and have a family out here at some point as well. So they're beautiful looking flowers, and then the whole farm is in bloom. It almost looks like it snowed because you've got this white down the stem of every single tree. And they've just got a beautiful fragrance to them as well. So it's a real joy to have these trees. For now, the main goal is to keep enjoying it. And I think that's a really important thing to remember. It's not business orientated at the moment. It's about making sure that it satisfies that want to keep being here. And I don't want to burn myself out and not enjoy what I do. So I think remembering that I do this for fun is really important. If in the future I decide that I would like to do this full time, I can. But if I choose not to, there's no consequences because all I've really done is plant lots of really beautiful trees.
And if you want to brew your own coffee with Brisbane's only single origin beans, then head to Andrew's website.